Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I'm taking the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Room of 4, and I'm going to blend that in with this little sponge that came from e.l.f. This video is literally so spontaneous. I wasn't going to film today, but well, I was going to film for Instagram, but I sat down and did this eye and I was like, why not do it for YouTube? So here we are. When I do looks like this, I tend to save it for Instagram just because I can like play my music, be in my own zone and do my own thing. But we're going to try today and do this on YouTube. So I'm using the Nikkie Tutorials Beauty Bay palette. So this actually sold out, but they said they're going to restock it. So I thought I could just go ahead and use it again. So I'm going to start with the shade Amsterdam, which is the matte blue in this palette, and I'm going to tap that into my crease. So I'm taking a really dense brush and I'm literally just going to start on the inner corner and pat that right in. This shade is so pigmented, so I'm literally just tucking that right into the socket, but only taking it halfway across the crease and then gently tapping over the edges to diffuse it a little bit so that when I blend it into the pink, it will blend nicely. This palette is so awkward to hold up because of the double-sided mirrors, but I'm gonna go into the shade Slasher, which is the dark purple. I find myself gravitating towards the darker side of the palette just because that's the colors that I tend to prefer over pastels. So I'm taking this and I'm gonna dab into the crease again, so pigmented. And this I'm going to carry out, and once again dabbing over the edges so it's easier to blend with the next shade. Now dipping into the shade Blend and Snap, which is the pink pastel, this one here, and I'm going to use this to blend out the blue. Now you could go ahead and blend out the purple with the same Blend and Snap, but for some reason I decided to go into the shade Zuma. I think because I haven't used it before, I thought I would give it a go. It's like a peachy color, so I took that and used that to blend out the purple, but effectively you could just use the pink if you wanted to. Going back into a dab of the blue, gonna re-intensify that crease. So I'm cutting my crease with the P. Louise Mitchell Acid Rain. This is the blank canvas one. And then I'm using this Doll Beauty DB11 brush. It's really flat and nice to cut the crease. I'm gonna try my best to get them even, but hey, no promises, okay? This one always comes out slightly higher than this side and it's just never the same, but we'll see. Okay, so what I'm gonna do before I go on top of that with the matte shadow is just give it about 60 seconds to dry down, just so the wetness of the base doesn't interfere with the matte shadow. I'm just gonna let that dry. So originally I wanted to go in with that shimmer on the first half of my eye and then the green on the outer edge of my eye, but for some reason when I tried to lay the shimmer down, it just wouldn't stick to the eye no matter what brush I used. It stuck with my finger, but it didn't look right. Like it, I don't know, something about it didn't look right, so I had to go in with the green all over the lid. Maybe if I cut the crease with the P. Louise base, because this one doesn't dry down, maybe it would have gone on nicer, but when I used the paint, it just wasn't sticking on top of this, so yeah. But what did stick on top of it is the matte, so I did go ahead and go into the green in here, which is called Ill, which is funny, that's called Ill when it's the most beautiful shade in the palette. It's like a teal green blue-ish color. So this shade I literally took and dabbed all over the lid, and look at this stunning color. But yeah, I'm just dabbing this color all over the lid. Okay, so that'll do, donkey. So now going in with the shimmer. Originally I was gonna go in with the shade All In, but I think I used that in my last video, so I thought let me go in with the shade Pride. I can't hold this palette, it's literally so, I wish they bent all the way back. And I'm literally just gonna tap that all over the center of my lid. No primer or any sticky base. I just wanted to kind of diffuse that all over. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the graphic liner, and this is from my brand MAKEUPBYTAMMI.com, and this is the shade Sky, which is like a light blue pastel liner. So they are water activated. All you need to do is add a little bit of water to it, or a little bit of water to your brush, and swirl it in there. All of my neighbors are mad. All of them have gone crazy. I swear, there's some kids outside, and because the kids scream, it sets the dog off barking, and then there's just like so much noise. Okay, so that is the liner. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the liner, the wing liner. Do you know what song's in my head? I don't know why it's going round and round. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry, cry, cry. god. So now I need to clean up. And those P. Louise bases are actually really hard to get off. So I take a little bit of micellar water onto a cotton bud and just use that to kind of loosen up the makeup a little bit, because this P. Louise base is no joke, honey. Once it dries down, it does not want to move anywhere. Okay, and that is more or less it, guys. Oh yeah, the inner corner. So I took the white shimmer shade, this one up here. So these shimmers are like a putty type of formula. When you press your brush in there, it does move around. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on my inner corner. So for foundation today, I'm using the Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation in the shade 4C1 Praline. And then for under my eyes, I got this recently from Cult Beauty. They sent it over. Thank you guys, because I picked up the wrong shade the last time that I got it. I got the shade Beach, which is like really pale, but it didn't look this pale on the website, but it's really light for me. So I got the shade Dune instead, and this is such a better fit for me. It's more golden, more, you know, warm tone, and more suitable for my skin type. So skin tone. Hopefully now I can get a better gauge on how I feel about it, because the light shade I always had to mix it with something else, but now that I have the right shade for me, hopefully I can get a good feel on the concealer. I can't tell you the last time I used a sponge for concealer. I really can't remember. I just love the coverage and the finish that you get with a brush. This concealer seems to dry down, not too fast. I can still move it, but it definitely does dry down a little bit, which for me is great. I have oily skin, so anything that dries down tends to last a lot longer on my skin. So far so good. That concealer is really nice. I like the shade on me, and I like the fact that it dries down and it has really good coverage. Seems like a normal concealer that I would use. I can usually tell when a concealer is going to be right at home in my collection. Gonna go ahead and set my face with the Huda Beauty Banana Bread powder, and I'm just gonna push that underneath the eyes to set it all down. I didn't clean up on top of my brows with concealer today, so I feel like they're a little bit bushy looking, a little bit natural brow looking. But yeah, I like it. It's not as clean and precise on the top. It just looks a bit bushy, you know what I mean? Huda Beauty was having like 50% off on her website the other day, and I had to just stop myself because I have everything Huda Beauty. I have the foundation, I have the concealer, I have the powder, I have the Tantour. I was like, why are you trying to buy anything? You have everything. So for bronzer, I'm going to take the NARS Punta Cana. Yeah, and I'm going to take this into my bronzer area. This is such a nice bronzer formula. They definitely need more shades in it though, but it just blends into the skin like a dream. It actually really reminds me of the new Sleek bronzer. Like the formula of it is really, really similar to the Sleek one. So if you don't want to spend NARS money, then you can definitely check out the Sleek one. They have 4 shades in that bronzer, I believe. Okay, so I think I'm going to do pink and purple underneath the lower lash line. So I'm going to start with the pink called Blend and Snap. Then on the outer edge, I might take blue Amsterdam. I literally cannot wait for the kids to go back to school. Not necessarily my kids, but my neighbor's kids, because they are so loud. I'm gonna throw on some lashes. This is the Eyelaw X The Plastic Boy in the style Bad and Bougie. I'm gonna put these on and I'll be right back. Okay, lashes are on. I also went ahead and did my lips. How gorgeous is this lip combo? I used the new Doll Beauty She Fine Liner in the shade Diva Forever, which is a dark brown. I don't think these are out yet, but they're coming out very soon, or they've just launched. I can't remember. But also I used the Doll Beauty lipstick in the shade FOMO, which is this really pale nude, but together. So yeah guys, that is it for today's look. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got some inspiration. If you did go ahead and pick up the Nikkie Tutorials Beauty Bay palette, let me know down below. And yeah, so far I'm really enjoying this palette, but I just wanted to address a couple things because I saw comments about what you guys are thinking about this palette. So loads of people are saying there's not enough deep dark shades in here and it feels like it's missing something, and I can totally agree with you. I feel like a black to deepen things up would have been lovely. I mean, I love my deep dark colors, so yeah, a few more deep dark mattes wouldn't have killed me. It wouldn't have hurt. It would have been very nice. But at the end of the day, this is not my palette. This is her creation. This is what she wanted, so I have to appreciate the colors that are in here. I don't think she did a terrible job. There are deep dark colors at the end of the day in here, like the dark purple, the dark blue, the dark brown over here that I can't wait to use in a neutral look. If there was no outer V deep dark colors, then I would be like, I'm not really keen on it. But in my opinion, the shimmers are totally totally worth it in this palette. They really take this palette to the next level. I can see myself using these shimmers in conjunction with the Mitchell. I was going on for 10 years there. Mitchell palette. I definitely can use them together because I feel like the shimmers in here are a lot creamier, a lot more glittery than the Mitchell palette. The shimmers in the Mitchell palette are nice as well, but they're a little bit more crumbly, whereas these are really nice and creamy, really pigmented. So I would like to use the palettes together, but it's not every palette that has to be deep and dark. You know, that's what my palette is for, honey, because there was a lot of people that said the colors in my palette are too dark and like there's no transition light colors, and it's like, well, I made it for my skin tone, so of course there's gonna be deeper dark shades in there that show up on my skin tone and darker. And I feel like it's possibly the same with Nikkie. She's gone for shades that complement her skin tone and that she likes to wear, and probably the dark side in here that she's made is really dark on her. They're not that dark on me, but I feel like these are shades that are obviously gonna look really smoky and grungy on her, so I can't knock it for the shades that she's chosen. If this is deep and dark to her, then that is deep and dark to her, do you know what I mean? But quality wise, I like this palette and I really like the packaging as well. I'm having fun playing with it, so I don't have anything bad to say about it. Yeah guys, that is it for today's video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Take care. Bye.